Everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Um, it's 3 o'clock, so I figured let's get started, maximize our time. So, today's session is part of Volunteer University, and these sessions are geared for volunteers, specifically for those who are already volunteering with us or who are interested in possibly getting involved. And it's truly just for you to get a behind the scenes look at some of the neat either programs or features that we have at the library, in hopes that you can learn more about the amazing resources and really continue with strong library ambassadorship. And we'd love to hear from you. So every time we have a session, I send out a SurveyMonkey form, and usually I ask for your feedback. What is it that you want to hear? And a lot of you had asked for today's special session, which is Friends Make It Possible, supporting SJPL's libraries from the inside out. So we have our amazing team here, Jean, who will be leading the conversation today about Friends with the Library. And just some housekeeping rules. If you can go ahead and mute yourself just to show our utmost respect for Jean and her presenters. But feel free to use the chat if there's something insightful. If you have a question, I will be monitoring that. And then Jean, at the end, perhaps if people still have questions, we can do a Q&A and we can address some questions in the chat. But without further ado, I will hand it off to Jean.
Thank you, Carolina. That's a great introduction. As Carolina mentioned, my name is Jean Harrigus. I'm a division manager with the San Jose Public Library, and I oversee half of our branches and our collection development unit, who the Volunteer University heard from last week. So I heard that was a great presentation, and happy to be here today. I see that we have several friends of the library on the meeting, so that's nice. Hopefully, you'll learn something, but can also share your perspective. And I also invited Mike Viston, who is from the Alum Rock Friends and has been volunteering with the Friends for quite a while and has some great perspective. So I invited Mike to join us. And Mike, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself.
Yes. Thanks, Jean. Thanks, Carolina. Nice to meet all of you. Mike Viston. So I'm the Friends President at Alum Rock Branch, or Dr. Roberta Cruz, specifically Alum Rock Library Branch. And many of you on the line, who I think may be listening for the first time, I too came in, wanting to help the library system in any way I could. So course, started as a volunteer, and then moved into the Friends, which, there's a lot of things and a lot of initiatives that our Friends group does. And I'm sure with other Friends members on the call, they have to each of their own respective missions. So this is a great way to give back and help the library system, help others. I think that really is the primary focus.
Thank you, Mike. All right, I've got just a sort of brief PowerPoint to share. And so I'll share my screen if that's okay, Carolina.
Perfect. Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
All set.
Okay. I don't want to click anywhere. Okay, great. Welcome, everybody. Friends of the library. Here we go. All right. And if you have questions, I mean, you're welcome to put them in the chat. I might not see it while I'm presenting, so you can just interrupt me and we can discuss. So I'm going to go ahead and move on. I've got a couple photos here of a couple of our friends groups, Alum Rock Friends. There's Mike. Do you see him? And here's some of our various friends too. So Friends of the Library, like Mike mentioned, are groups of volunteers who help advocate and raise money for the library. The funds that they raise are used for programs, program supplies, and other expenses or programs, opportunities. Many of our friends groups have been active for years, even decades, and have members who've been volunteering for decades. And then we have other groups where friends are just brand new or, joining all the time. You can see in the couple photos here a variety of ages represented in the Friends members. And we do have friends groups that are just one person. So group is a loose term, and it's more about the work that they do. Here's a few of our Cambrian friends. And the common thread for the friends groups really is that they're all giving their time to help the library. Um, what do their friends groups do? Well, here's a few photos from the Almaden branch from their book sorting room, and they have probably the best book sorting room or space of any of our libraries. They benefit from the fact that the Almaden Library is a joint facility with the community center, and they were able to use a room that was designated for something else, and they use it usually for their book sorting. So not all of our branches have this great of a setup. But generally, what the friends do is that they receive donations. So that the donations, when people come to the library and say, "Do you take old books? Can I donate my books to you?" The friends receive those donations, they sort them and maybe price them, and then they sell them. And so, and it also might sometimes include discarded library books. So sometimes when the library decides that we're done with certain materials and but they're still in good enough condition to sell, the friends might take those and sell them. So many of our groups, they plan and run large book sales. So here's a photo from an Almaden sale, probably several years ago now. So you see they've got the books set up on tables, lots of folks browsing. So some of our branches do this. And a branch like Almaden, they can bring in a couple $1,000s in their weekend book sale. But you can see it's a major undertaking to get all of these books set up and get the tables organized with the books. So they used lots of volunteers. Often they have teen volunteers. The librarians help them recruit volunteers to help out. Um, and sometimes there are branches that just can't do this. And so it kind of depends on how big the friends group is, how many volunteers they can recruit. But some groups will have a sale every quarter. Some groups might do one once a year. So it really just depends on how many friends they have and kind of what their time allows. I don't know, Mike, if you want to share anything about Alum Rock and book sales that you have there.
Yeah, I mean, like you had mentioned, every respective library and the respective friends that support those libraries, attempt to host book sales. I know Almaden's, they are like the creme de la creme, as I'll say it, right? They have the best book sales, in my opinion, because they have a great organization. I think Joan is on here too, who leads that organization.
Yeah.
It's one of those that you really brings a lot of warmth to the heart when you see how many volunteers come together to basically take books that have been donated to the library, and then in an effort to sell those books, that money is then used to fund programs, right? We are, and I'll say this because I was just at a meeting at City Hall where we're getting in advance of the upcoming city budget, and we all are up against the talks of cutting of funds, etc. So the friends are an integral and very critical arm, a nonprofit arm that helps raise money for programs that otherwise would not exist. And so it's members of the friends that help drive that additional effort, that grassroots effort, to take inventory that is donated and essentially sell it so that we can fund programs. And again, these usually go into each library's specific mission, whether it's funding computer programs, maybe it's funding ESL classes, right? I mean, there's a lot of cool things, and if you've been to any of the libraries, any of those programs held by nonprofits, that oftentimes gets funding from the friends. So I don't know if that paints the picture. We certainly do that at Alum Rock, and every library here that's represented does the same for the most part.
Yeah, thank you. Um, and I know some of our branches have found that they just don't have enough volunteers, enough interest in running these book sales. So some places, like I know at Village Square, I don't know if we have any volunteers here from Village Square, they'll do just periodic sales either in the library's lobby or maybe put a table out front and just sell books for an afternoon. So some branches have found more success in doing those smaller scale sales. The other place Friends sell their books is here in the Friends Book Nooks. So all of our branches, except for Mount Pleasant, have a designated spot for the Friends book sale in the library that's just there. Every day that the library is open, it's available. And so these are spaces where the friends can display books that were volunteered, books that were donated, and these are sold on the honor system. So anybody browsing they can drop their money in the slot where the cash box is and purchase their books that way. It's a nice way, especially if there isn't a large group a large friends group at the branch. It's a way for them to still make some funds. We even have branches that don't have an active friends group, where they do have the Nook sales happening anyway. So it's a great way for the branch to make a little bit of funds to support extra programming. Okay, I think that there's a question in the chat. I'm not sure if I can see it.
Yes. The question is, are each friends group governed by the local library, centralized by overall San Jose Library, or governed by the Library Foundation?
Okay, good question. Thank you. So each of our friends groups operate pretty independently. We do have some friends groups that support each other. So like the Alviso branch doesn't really have a friends group at the moment. So the Berryessa friends help out over there. But for across the board, each friends group operates separately from the others. But we do have, and we're kind of jumping ahead, but I'll just let you know now. We do have a group that's called the All Friends, and that is just sort of a quarterly gathering of members from friends groups from branches across the system. So anybody who's a friend of any of our libraries is welcome to attend that All Friends group. And it's a place where we share information. The library shares information with the friends, and we can do it kind of all at once. Our library foundation often comes to those All Friends meetings to share information. And then the friends groups share information about what they're doing, and maybe if they have ideas for new ways to run their book sale or to do other activities, they share that. We had an All Friends meeting just last weekend, or yeah, last
Yep.
weekend, actually. It's hard to remember. It's already Thursday. Yeah, we had, and one of the things that I picked up that was interesting to me about these large book sales, we learned that the Evergreen branch has their teen volunteers run the entire sale. So that was something I learned at the All Friends meeting that was pretty interesting this past week. Yeah. And I'll talk a little bit more about the foundation in a moment. Actually, I think it might be here. Yes, advocacy. So the San Jose Public Library Foundation is the fundraising sort of body that handles more like the big fundraisers for our library, and any kind of grants or like big events. So they do those kinds of things. Friends of the library are separate and also raise money. Um, and yeah, oh, Joan, and you mentioned in the chat, sorry, ooh, I didn't mean to move ahead. Some of our friends groups are 501(c)(3) nonprofit organizations. And so they have a little more capacity to raise funds than others that are just sort of like loosely organized groups. So the foundation, they also, in addition to raising money, they do advocate for the library. And our Friends members also advocate for the library in the community and with elected officials. So the foundation collaborates with members of the Library and Education Commission, as well as Friends of the Library, to advocate for the library with the mayor and the city council members. And they have an advocacy committee, and that committee plans kind of those efforts, and then they schedule um, and hold meetings with each of the city council members every year during the budget process. So, under the foundation's leadership, many friends of the library have gotten more involved in advocating for the library in this more formal way by talking with council members. And the the city's employees, like myself or Carolina, since we work for the library and we work for the city, our job is not really to advocate for more funding like it would be, it's not really, it doesn't work that way for us since we work for the organization. But because we have the foundation and the friends and the commission that are able to do that advocacy, it really can help support the library in a different way. And I know, Mike, you've been pretty involved with that advocacy committee. So I wonder if you'd like to share anything about your experience and how that's been over the years for you.
Yeah, I kind of alluded to it, earlier today. I tend to join the meetings when available, obviously, because I'm a volunteer, but Don Coppin, who heads the foundation, and then various members who are part of the advocacy committee. We schedule meetings with council members, at City Hall. Today we had met with the budget directors, right? Because it's this time of year when we want to make sure that the libraries are represented, that that the topic of providing what otherwise is free education, also resources, that is not inhibited, and most importantly, that library hours are not affected. Like that is the grassroots effort that I was referring to earlier. It's galvanizing the power of the group to show our elected officials that we are in it to support our libraries, and we don't want any funds to be rerouted. We don't want any decline in services. So for those of you on the call who have never been a part of an advocacy group, this is actually a good time. I feel like we're trying to recruit as many people as possible to get the message out. And also, just by you volunteering, as a Friends member for your respective libraries, that in and of itself is a powerful voice. And those numbers tend to show when council members show up to the meetings. So council members in their respective districts will use the libraries to host their community meetings. And again, if you're attending, I'm sure for those of you who are attending this call, you're probably well aware that of those times where your library has hosted a meeting with a council member. Obviously, we would advise and recommend you attend some of those meetings, and you'll get clear insight into the annual battle that the libraries go through, to make sure that services are not inhibited or affected. So, yeah, for my part on the advocacy, I'm there to help fight the good fight any way that I can, and I'm using my experience and of course the friends from my respective branch, as well as the friends within the All Friends system. We're all together in this, and obviously we invite all of you to join in that fight. Did I rally them enough, Gene?
I think so. That was good. It's hard to tell. I should have stopped sharing so we could see everybody's face. But thank you. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I just want to add, all of you, friends of the library and volunteers advocate for the library every day just by being part of the organization. And I know you all, just every volunteer, every friend, I know you're a powerful voice for the library in your communities, with your families, your friends, your neighbors, everyone you talk to. I know for me, I was just saying at the All Friends meeting, everybody who knows that I work for the library, in my life outside the library, they're always like, oh yeah, the library, I love the library. But if somebody doesn't know and then they learn that I work for the library, then suddenly they have like this, oh, I haven't even thought about the library in so many years. What are you doing there? And then once you start talking about it, they really understand the value, and it's a powerful way to really bring that message to folks. Um, so I'm going to just go ahead. I think I just have one more slide, or a couple more. So I put this up. This is our page on the library's website for the friends. So it's if you want to get involved with being a friend of the library, just visit you. Well, you can talk to the manager of the branch or one of the staff of the branch where you currently volunteer, or you can visit our website. sjpl.org/friends is the page. And then there's this button right here, become a friend. Or if you scroll down on this page, it lists each branch and how to contact the friends. And then you'll hear back from somebody. But even better and more effective would be to just talk with the staff and find out when are the friends here? When could I meet one of them? And you'll be able to get connected with somebody right away. I mentioned already, oh, here's Barry's friends and our manager, Candace Tran. I thought I wanted to put this up because it's from a previous year, but it's almost Lunar New Year, so I wanted to share it. And they are the Berryessa Friends have been active for years and years, and they always provide the branch with such great programming through their funding. But I wanted to mention also, again, like I mentioned, our All Friends group. And it's really a good way. I know Marnie is on the call, and Marnie's from our Biblioteca Latinoamericana. Marnie's the only friend there right now. And I Marty was at the All Friends meeting last week, and I think it's probably a really nice way to just be able to connect with other folks. Even if the branch where you're volunteering doesn't have a big friends group, it's a way for you to connect with other friends. So if you get involved with friends, you'll find out more about the All Friends group also. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, and happy to take more questions and hear from other folks. Oh, Marnie says there's two new volunteers who joined the Biblioteca Friends, so that's wonderful.
Yay.
Nice to hear that. I know it was a pretty short presentation, but I would like to hear from all of you if you have questions. And if there are other folks on the call who want to share their experience as friends, because I know we've got several friends on the call. Where do I find out about the All Friends meetings? I can share that information with you. Our next meeting is going to be in April. And if you're already a friend of the library, I can get you signed up for our All Friends email list and share that information with you. I think we're still looking for a location, but the next meeting will be April 25th.
Mhm.
And Liz, if you want to email me or send me your email address, I'll get you connected with All Friends.
Hi, yeah, my name is Beth, and I started about 4 months ago, so I'm pretty new, but I actually have been helping over with the Evergreen Valley Library with Cami. And it's
Oh,
real, I
great.
like it. It's going really well. It's
Nice.
just, you can come and go to, it's easy. I sort through the books, empty out the donation box, which seems like it gets full every couple days, and then you sort through them. Some of them are really good books. Some of them you have to throw away because they're, kind of a little bit dirty, or maybe a page is torn or something, but it's not that hard. It's really easy, and everybody's so friendly. And then even if you're at the library, sometimes people will ask me a question. I'll go, just a minute, let me go find out, and I'll go help them. Like I'll get a librarian or something to help that person that's asking a question.
Nice.
I will also say that one of the things that I really enjoy about the book sales is that you meet a lot of fascinating people. There's something about the local community that comes, and you have a good mix of readers. You have opportunists, because obviously the book sales are a good way to find books that are rare, and you get resellers who show up, and that's totally fine. Hey, the money goes all to the same place. But it's always striking to me how many people come in, and they bring back memories of, like, hey, I found this book, and I remember reading it as a child, and now I'm here, and I can't believe it's you guys are selling it. That's the part that goes unsaid. It's not just a venue for selling books in a simple format. I feel like it's a way to bring people together. And our library itself, we've been able to get, or I'll say solicit more volunteers through the book sales when they find out, like, hey, what is it that you guys do? And when they ask, they start prodding about, where's the money go? And we tell them about all the programs that we help at least try to support financially. It goes much, much further than just, oh, you're just trying to sell books and get the money back into the system. It has much deeper purpose and meaning. So yeah, that's what I like about the book sales. And then I find a gem once in a while too, because I'm a book collector. So.
Do we have any other questions for Jean or Michael? Yes, Liz, do friends groups provide advice about where the funds raised are to be directed?
Not advice so much. It uh the level of involvement depends on the friends group. In general, I think most friends groups they expect that the library staff sort of have an idea of what the community is interested in. And then they'll find appropriate programs, that go along with that. Um, but I think one of the exciting things for the friends is like after the fact, they hear back from the librarians or from the manager what the programs were and kind of like what the attendance was. Often the staff will share photos of the program, like if they had a performer or somebody who brought like the snakes always seem to be really popular with kids or the birds, anything with animals, the petting zoo. So whenever they share photos back and that information, the friends seem to really enjoy that. And then I will say that sometimes friends will have an idea, like or a suggestion of, like I know for Alum Rock, you all have helped support some of the what is it? The
Grants.
events, yeah, for helping the folks who are unhoused and
Yes. Yep.
providing resources for them. I don't know if you want to
Yeah,
share
yeah, because
the
there are some. Yeah, thank you for hitting on that, Gene. So like um certain libraries face a very specific demographic, and within the community you have some challenged, you have unhoused sometimes that are seeking resources. And so for our respective library, they will ask for some basic needs items, just so that if somebody comes in, they need socks or something. We've approved funding for just a basket of socks in the case someone needs it. But what we try to do is we try our best to fund education programs. Every year Alum Rock hosts it's like an event for the unhoused where, on one particular day, we invite a bunch of nonprofits to sit at our location and provide information to those at-risk individuals. And it helps sort of direct them to getting the help they need so they can get off the street. So our specific library, and I know others in the immediate area have very similar missions. But you have others who are focused on, like providing grants, right? Like to the local schools. And that also is a noble and worthy cause. But I'll sort of heed warning there. And it begs the question of your tax status. And so if you're here representing a library where you're trying to restart a friends group, let us know. We can give you advice on, what it takes to pursue a 501(c)(3), or possibly even just use the libraries, right? I mean, the library is a great obviously the central point for why we even exist. What Gene had implied earlier, some friends groups have operated independently, mainly because of the specific location and their individual missions that might be different than others. So But that's what's so cool about this is that, every branch, every friends group can be creative, and it could be based and led by purpose, depending on the specific community that you're supporting.
Thanks, Mike.
Mhm.
Emma's got a question. How did you feel when you participated in your first book sale with friends? Excited or nervous? Not sure if that question's for you, Mike.
I was gonna say I was terrified. I didn't want to
know.
make a mistake. And then my first day, I had to run the cash, and I was thinking, ooh, okay, well, what if somebody doesn't have, they give us $100 bill and we don't have that change? What do we do? But no, after that, it was after you meet the people, you realize, you know what, it's just great having people come in and support the library. And yeah, it was a great experience, and continues to be.
Thanks. Oh, Marnie, did you want to add something? I see you've got your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to respond to Liz's comment or question in the chat because I'm, as you said, new in the Friends of the Library, but also in the unique position of restarting a Friends of the Library. And when she's asked, what do you do? Or I'm not sure how to help, we met, I met, and then because there's two new volunteers now, met with the library director. And one exciting thing is we don't propose programs, although as a volunteer, I think I probably could do that as a different volunteer because I do Friends of the Library, but I also do some of the other volunteer work. But we get an insider tract of what's going on and the programs, and then so that we can actually respond to what they need. So if they want to do something for the Day of the Dead and they don't have money is set aside for that, we could help them raise money for that. At the same time, we get to make decisions as we're putting this together about how to serve our local community. And I know as a group, we've decided we're still talking about things like right now, our books are for free and they're set out and they can just be picked up. And we all feel a strong commitment that we want to make sure that people who don't have enough money to buy books can still have access to them. So we're negotiating now, okay, we want to do fundraising, but we also want to support our local community. So the exciting thing for me is that we meet with Michelle regularly to find out what's going on at the library, what they need, what the directions are, and then what we can kind of see as we're putting this together, the real impact that our work can do. And I hope that kind of gives you some response to that.
Thank you. And Michelle is the branch manager for the branch where you're volunteering. Just to clarify.
Thank you.
Yeah. And let's see, I wanted to mention, Joan says in the chat, friends also support the winter and summer reading programs and Silicon Valley Reads. Thank you for that reminder, Joan. Yeah, friends have been really helpful in supporting those system-wide programs. So if you've volunteered with the library for a while, or if you're a regular library user, you've probably seen our winter reading program or our summer learning program. And those are programs for all ages, but we really hit the kid demographic in those pretty heavily. And the goal of those programs is to help encourage people to continue reading, even when they're not in school or wherever they usually are. And so friends provide funding, and often provide funding, and that goes toward purchasing books and other items that are giveaways during those programs. So one of the things we've really shifted to for our summer learning program is that everybody, all the kids who sign up get a free book to keep when they sign up for the program. And then when they complete the program, they also receive a book to keep. And of course, we have to purchase those. And we do have some funding, but the Friends funding has really helped to augment that and let us be able to continue those giveaway programs. So yes, thank you for that reminder, Joan. And Silicon Valley Reads is a regional reading program that we participate in every year. And it's going on right now. If anyone hasn't read the books, please do. But we do encourage our friends of the library to help support that too, and have had lots of great programming as a result of those donations from the Friends groups. And for Silicon Valley Reads in particular, since it's a regional program, it includes libraries all over Santa Clara County. So we have support from lots of different Friends groups all around, all the way from Gilroy all the way up to Los Altos. So yeah, it's been a really good program.
All righty. Well, any last minute questions from anyone on the call? I don't see any more on the chat. Going once, going twice. And that is okay. I will definitely follow up with everyone after this, but I want to thank Jean and Michael for your time today and everyone on the call. Truly, it's just to give you some more information about our amazing programs at the library. We have 25 locations. Um, a lot of different units, so much going on. Even for myself, this is very informative because I get to learn about the amazing things that the Friends of the Library gets to do. So I appreciate everyone for coming on by.